time for a new trend and, very importantly, a new category in the wellness landscape. Please welcome Lisa Starr as she presents Wellness and Sports, a new business model for hospitality.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. They picked the right person to talk about sports. Some of you in this room have shared a room with me, and you know that ESPN is the first thing I put on. So most of us in this room came here from another place and spent last night in a hotel, I suspect, and you might have tried to exercise in your fitness room at your hotel, which might be a treadmill in the corner, very sad. And those days are changing, I'm happy to say. I think fueled by the public preoccupation with celebrity athletes, and we watch everything they do, and we follow them on social media. Cristiano Ronaldo has 500 million followers on Instagram. So these are converging, and we're seeing hospitality properties begin to take fitness seriously, taking it further, adding a recovery component, and really building it into their model. So you will be able to go to your hotel and work out better than you do at home and recover better than you do at home. I think the leader in this was a brand called Siro, S-I-R-O. It hasn't opened yet. It will open in Dubai. It stands for Strength, Inclusivity, Recovery, and Originality. And it's basically a really nice gym that has a hotel attached to it. I mean, top-notch facilities, trainers, movement rooms, therapists on hand, physios on hand, acupuncture, everything you need. We have examples around the world, which you can read in the trend, from properties like Quinta do Lago in Portugal, which built a whole complex for sports with a high-performance gym with outside pitches and spaces for people to meet and conference. And oh, by the way, you can sleep there. There is Equinox, of course, leading the charge from the U.S. in building sports-oriented hotels with high fitness, and they are building them near sports facilities. So there's also an idea that we will gather sports teams and athletes to come to these facilities as well. And we know that, we heard about the lift in the cost of inactivity, right? What was it, $97 billion? Like, we need to get active, and we can stop using the fact that we're traveling as an excuse that we can't do it anymore. Some interesting other developments. Bad Ragaz in Switzerland, a well-known resort, has a whole medical component where the doctors are on site and they will see hotel patients. They keep openings in their book for hotel patients as well as seeing outpatients. Many of them are busy seeing other athletes. In fact, when we talked to him, he was off with the Swiss national ski team. But this is the doctor at your hotel that you could visit when you're at this hotel. We saw that Zulal in Qatar hosted the German national team, as many resorts did there, and had the utmost fitness and outdoor spaces for them as well. We see that Fountain Life, one of our sponsors here, has an amazing biometric testing program that you will own your data on your fitness and health. It's very advanced, and that can be brought into hospitality settings on an outpatient basis. So lots of interesting new developments that are going to take away our reason for not staying in shape when we're on the road, which I'm pretty happy about.
Yeah, it seems like, tell me if I'm right. I mean, on the one hand, hospitality and resorts are actually actively wellness athletes, high-level athletes have gone all in on wellness. Mental, physical, spiritual. I mean, you have it in your trend. LeBron James spends
$1.5 million a year on his body.
wellness.
He can afford it, but still.
Yeah, but his body is worth that much every year.
His body is his temple when you're an athlete.
But I mean, the longevity of athletes, the hyper-performance of athletes, the kind of total wellness that they're seeking, I mean, obviously makes wellness destinations, resorts, centers like this, they're a key market. I mean, and near elite athletes are an exploding category. So people that are training for marathons and super marathons and, so that's one part, right? And then the second part is that lens, that elite athlete level lens, is then something that trickles down into the hospital for the rest of us, and is impacting wellness like we see with recovery. It's just exploding. It used to be for athletes. Now it's at Remedy Place.
So there's two things converging here, like Beth said. One is that we have a labor shortage. You might have heard about it. We can't get people to work, and they're not coming back next month. And so hotels and people with large spaces have to think differently about how you use that space. Spas as well. We need more self-catered options. One of the leaders in that is here in the room at Carillon in Miami. They have an amazing recovery function that you can do without a therapist, and it's being marketed to the local athletic teams who can come in 2 hours and have this great experience. But the other thing is, like Beth said, we're obsessed with athletes and sports. We want to be like them. We want to follow everything they do. And it's so emotional, right? I'm from Philadelphia, so I have to mention, yes! My team is in the Super Bowl. For those of you not Americans, you'll understand later. So what draws that kind of emotion from people that transcends language and culture and age? You all get behind your team. 5 billion people watch the World Cup. Hello? So as a business, hospitality must stand back and say, we'd like a piece of that, right? How can we get that emotion of sports into our property?
I just want to bring Susie Ellis back up to talk about this. This trend was her brainchild, and Susie is really famous for identifying business opportunities in the wellness industry. So I think you need to get into this, Susie.
I just want, there are times over the decades that I have felt something's coming. Wellness tourism was one of them in 2013, wellness real estate. Wellness and sports, it's just the beginning, and I think it's up to all of us to be creative with this idea, because it can also inspire young people, young kids. It's out there, but we haven't really put it together in as good of a way as we can now. And one of the reasons is because now there's more technology that, people are, places like this or places like Bad Ragaz, where there's really recovery and a lot of science available, so we can do more. But anyway, I'm just saying, we don't have all the answers. This is just the beginning, and Lisa did a great job scoping it out. But I just challenge everyone to think creatively about what we can do with wellness and sports, and I have a feeling it'll be exciting going forward.
I have one more piece to offer. Thank you, Susie. Last week, I hosted a webinar with Emlyn Brown, VP of Global Wellbeing for Accor, and he said, not prompted by me, that we're looking at our hotels as being the centerpiece of a neighborhood, and we want to have things that draw in other than just sleep there. And why not have sports be a centerpiece of that, sports and health? So well done, well spotted, Susie. Thank you.
Lisa. Thank you so much.